Hello and welcome to this new section on strategizing how to get what you want. And this is the first lecture of that in this course on personality development. So, in this section, we'll help you learn how to strategize on regarding what to get what you want in terms of your goal that your personality development goals that you would have set. And in this lecture, we will talk about, we'll give you a quick overview of that whole thing. Then we will talk about how can you find a range of strategy to accomplish your personality development goals and also give you a overview of the possible strategies. Right? Ready for that? Wonderful. So we have come a long way. We are towards the end of the process, and we started with defining career goals. Then we selected one improvement area to work on, then understood what's going on, and developed solutions which turned out to become your personality development goals. So in this, we will look at how to strategize what to get what you want in terms of your personality development goals. So the question is, how will you strategize on how to get what you want? So basically, we are now in the third stage of the Egan's model. And the way there are three steps that you need to follow. One is to find possible strategy options. What are the various things that you can do to achieve your personality development goals? Then find what works best given your resources, capability, and the results that you want to achieve, and your willingness and your values. And then once you have that identified as the best strategy or strategies, then how do we turn that into action plan so that you can make this whole personality development happen for you to achieve your career development goals, right? So the question is, how do we do this, right? So let's look at how do we develop the range of strategies to accomplish your goals. Let's start looking at that. So how do you think you can find possible strategies to achieve your personal development goals? So basically in this step, what you do is you brainstorm and you brainstorm a range of strategy to accomplish your goals, right? And this helps you find ways to accomplish goals in a systematic yet flexible and personalized way. Very important words. Most important is the personalized way. A strategy has to be personalized for you because and it should be flexible so that you can go ahead and change it as you go forward, and there must be a method in it. So systematic yet flexible and personalized way. Right. So how can you do this? One of the things is you can do, there are many 5 points that I have for you here. One is to use probes to help you identify possible strategy. What that would be, we will cover shortly. Engage in divergent thinking, different thinking, not one way of thinking, with respect to these strategies by brainstorming and creative thinking. And how could you do that? You could go about talking to people, get people that matter to you, who are helpful to you, or friends and relatives in a team, in a room, over a cup of tea, and talk about what you want to achieve and get their views. Encourage them to express their views, note them down, don't debate, don't argue, but just listen and appreciate their way thinking, and you will generate a lot of possible strategies. Then what you need to do is identify resources needed to accomplish this agreed goal. And this would be important for the next step of picking the right strategy. Then also identify what kind of skills do you need and develop those skills needed to accomplish goals. And finally, see the action implications of the strategies identified. So these are the 5 steps you can do, 5 things that you could do, right from using probes to brainstorming, identifying resources, identifying and developing skills, and seeing the action implementation. So these are the various ways you can brainstorm and develop a range of strategies to accomplish your personal development goals. So let's spend a little time while others are quite self-explanatory and we have talked about them. How can we use probes to help you identify possible strategy? Anything, any thoughts on this? See, again, goes back to answering more questions, and these are some wonderful set of questions that you can use to probe yourself on possible strategy. And start with what has been your best achievement in that area? What did you do well? How did you do that? What learn from your own successes? How did you get to your goal or the best achievement? What would you be willing to do to meet your new goal that you have? What is your willingness? Because we are a human being. There are a lot of things that we are not willing to do. So you need to find what are you willing to do. What are the things you will have certain ways of thinking about it? What would you like to do differently in this area of improvement? Look at the obstacles. What can get in your way? What is the most practical thing you can do this week or in the coming weeks to get around that obstacle? So identify obstacles in achieving that goal and find ways, the practical ways to get around that. Discover more stoppages, like what stops you from knowing what to do next. Sometimes it is just the obstacles in thinking. So what are the obstacles? What are the you tolerating by not doing that? What are the things that you know you should not be doing, but you are tolerating? So understand what are you tolerating in your not that can if you stop tolerating that will help you achieve your goals. What is your biggest fear? Many times some of our own fears are your biggest bottleneck. So understand your fears and what are specifically about what you want to get in terms of your personal development goals. What are you willing to do this week to get out of box? The emphasis on out of box. So you've been looking at various ways to things. So what can you do? What are you willing to do to get out of the box to achieve your personal goals? What is a worthwhile trade-off? What are you willing to give up to get what you want? Many times the things that you have, they become the obstacle themselves and you don't even look at them. So this question will force you to look at what you have that you need to give off, to trade off to get what you want. And if you could fall, what would you do? So many times it's a fear of failure that prevents us from looking at new options. So if you could fail, what would you do? So these are the various ways to think of, uh, probe yourself to think about possible strategies. So what are the possible strategies? Let's look at some common possible strategies, right? So what do you think are some common possible strategies? Okay, so I have a list of strategies. Now, these are drawn for a set of people who want to do themselves and where you can use this from a coach or a mentor to do it for you. Now, some of them you can do yourself and we will go through them. Some you will need to engage a coach to do. So you have this list, right, from reframing beliefs, and we will talk about this. What does this mean? Perspective building, new ways of thinking about what you want to achieve, modeling, learning from others, skills coaching, learning new things, getting mentoring, using time-tested tools and techniques, journaling, reading something, experimenting new behaviors, and watching someone go through a similar change process. So these are the various possible strategies. Now, some of them you can only do when you engage in external coach like skills coaching and mentoring, right? Rest of them you should be able to do on your own, and even getting a referral is dependent on a coach, and while rest of the things you can do on your own, right? So this is a list of master list of possible strategies that you can use to achieve your goal. So what do we do next? So in the next we will begin by a few things, few strategies you can pursue yourself, starting with reframing beliefs. So how can you reframe your belief that can help you achieve your personality development goals? And that's the topic for the next lecture. So thank you so much for this lecture in which we talked about strategizing how to get what you want. I hope you continue to learn new things, continue to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. If you have any questions, do feel free to message me. I'll be happy to answer your questions for you.